Many people do not realize this, but corporal punishment in schools is still allowed in the US, and for good reason. Corporal punishment prevents suspensions and is a swift way to dispense punishment. Sadly, this effective and advantageous form of discipline has begun to recede from schools across the US. Currently, only 19 states still allow corporal punishment. These states are mainly in the South, with the exceptions of Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and Arizona. One appeal of corporal punishment is that it is an alternative to suspensions. The removal of corporal punishment has given rise to over 3 million students receiving out-of-school suspensions each year. In states that have banned corporal punishment, out-of-school suspensions are basically a holiday given to students who misbehave. Out-of-school suspensions also remove children from the classroom, which hinders their education, leaving them with lower grades, lower test scores, and an ultimately lower chance of getting into college. Furthermore, suspensions cause students to drop out of school, which can lead to massive economic loss. A study done by UCLA found the economic cost of students that drop out due to suspension to be $35 billion in 1 year due to a variety of factors, including less taxes paid, more money spent on the justice system, and increased healthcare costs for these individuals. While some people believe corporal punishment may result in bodily harm to students, it is actually administered with scrupulous restrictions. For example, the district's employee handbook for Holmes County requires that only a principal, assistant principal, or designee can wield the paddle. For children in grades 7 and above, the staff member must be the same gender as the student. Most schools also require that a second teacher or the parents of the child must also be present. On top of the restrictions to corporal punishment, all schools in the U.S. must obtain permission from the parent or guardian of the student in order to be able to use corporal punishment. Some studies show that corporal punishment is used on a disproportionate amount of black students. But what these studies fail to mention is that the schools where corporal punishment is still legal contain massive majorities of black students. The Nation magazine states that in Holmes County, 99% of the public school children are black. The Nation also states that the prevalence of the practice varies widely throughout the state. So even though corporal punishment is still legal in 19 states, many districts within the state still prohibit the practice, which renders any data involving whole state populations inaccurate. Also, as you can see in this image, black students receive more suspensions than white students. Therefore, banning corporal punishment in schools will not prevent racial disparity. While it may seem like corporal punishment is a practice of the past, it is actually a very effective tool in the modern classroom. If this form of discipline is reinstated, the number of suspensions will decrease and the American economy will not need to feel the burden of millions of high school dropouts. This practice should not only be maintained in the South, but it should also be reinstated in the states that have banned it. Will you allow the American educational system to fall apart? Keep our kids disciplined and in school by allowing corporal punishment to endure.